catch you whispering. I'm praying you catch me. I'm praying to catch you whispering. I'm praying you catch me listening. I'm praying you catch me.
Hey everyone, so I am back with another review for you guys. Today is going to be just a little bit different. I've added some things to the review, so I'm getting in depth a little bit more, and I just hope you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, share, all of that good stuff with the video. Also follow the page, Literary O, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So, the book that we're reviewing today is Pray You Catch Me, and this is by author Dominique Thomas. I'm going to start with the cover of the book first. So on the cover we have a woman, black woman. She's covered in glitter and sparkles. So my first reaction to this is Black Beauty. I see shiny, like a shiny appearance, but also a sense of empowerment within the book. Now, this is just my initial thought, just because I hadn't read the book just yet when I looked at the cover, and I didn't have anything to base it off of. So it turns out that yes, I would consider this an empowerment book, and I'll just get a little bit more into that as I continue to go on. And then we're moving on to the title. My immediate thought, again, was Beyoncé, of course. We all know the song, Pray You Catch Me. That's an emotional song in itself, which leads me to believe as a reader that the book itself is going to be emotional. And I would consider this to be true. If you've read the book, then you know. But it is related to several events that happen within the book. It's also related to the love interest of the main character. Now, he mentions this several times within the book about catching her if she falls, and basically it's them against the world. So that's just the title, just some insight on that. And then we're going to move on to the story. Now, Dominique tells the story in first person. It's mainly from the main character, whose name is Mickey. And then there's also chapters where Easton, her love interest, also tells the story from his point of view. Before I get into the actual characters, I'm going to start off with the negative. And this book, I'm just going to say it up front, was amazing. I loved the book. Only bad thing that I have to say, and not even, and not to be negative or anything like that, but the grammar and editing. As you all know, if you've watched videos, anything, that grammar is a big deal for me. There were some grammar and editing mistakes and errors, but again, that did not take away from from what she was trying to portray in the story, from what was being told. So it didn't affect the book as a whole, but again, like I said, I did notice those, so other people may have noticed those as well. And then I'm just going to go right into the character. So the main character, her name is Michaela. She suffers from a mental disorder called MDD, or major depressive disorder. She also has a family who thinks that they're helping, and they want to be involved in her life just to make sure that she's okay, because of prior situations that have happened within her family. Now, she considers this to be overbearing, and her family doesn't realize that they're doing this, and they see it as just a way of helping her and making sure that she stays on track, and making sure that nothing happens to her. And then, so, like I said, I'll get more into her character and the story itself just a little bit later. And then I'm going to move on to Easton. Easton is, I would consider him a best friend at the beginning, but Michaela, or Mickey, is also in love with this man. She's loved him. She's known him for a while, since they were kids, and she's truly in love with this man, but in the beginning, he doesn't want to cross that line. He feels as if them taking it to the next level will affect their friendship. So he doesn't want to put himself in that position, and he doesn't want to have to lose out on being in Michaela's life. Now, there's also um, Cobain, who's also somewhat of a main character, but he's an antagonist in the story, and Michaela meets Cobain one night at a bar that he owns. Now, the way that Cobain is portrayed is as the knight in shining armor, but we later come to find out that he's also a wolf in sheep's clothing. So he's not the person that we think he is, and Michaela finds that out, and her life at that point takes a turn for the worst. And then there's also, like I said, her family. She has her dad, her aunt, and then there's also her best friend, Simone. She's a character that is, she's very provocative. She sleeps with a lot of men. She has a son, and she also has a boyfriend. But like I said, she cheats on him all the time. But we later come to find out that there is something behind the way that she acts. There's more to it. She's not just doing this because she wants to, but there's a deeper issue with her that makes her act this way. And then, like I said, the story is told in first person, and then it'll switch every now and then. But for the main part, it is told by Michaela. Now, I'm not one of the reviewers who likes to summarize the book and give you all of the details because there's no fun in that. I love the mystery of it. I love having someone go and read the book themselves and find out what they had in store and what was going on. I don't like to give away all of the details. I mean, it's definitely hard because you want to talk about the book because it's so good, but I'm also not wanting to give away all of the details because at that point you don't want to read it if I've told you everything. So basically, the story is of a young girl. She's 19. She suffers from MDD, which is something that actually runs in her family. Her brother had it, and her mother had it as well. Now, I won't tell you what happens to her mother or her brother, but just know that the way that she behaves in this story is a direct result of what happened to her mother and her brother. Now, she's basically trying to live, just a normal life. She's a college student. She's going to school, but she also has an overbearing family. Like I said, they watch her every move. They make sure that she's taking her medicine and going to her therapy sessions, and so they're just constantly on her, and these actions eventually push her into the arms of Cobain, who, like I said, is one of the other characters. And once this happened, her life takes a turn for the worse. She begins to be addicted to pills. Later on, it's coke, and she just kind of spirals in a downward position, and she also is affected by domestic violence. So, basically within this book, we see her struggle to find out who she is, what she wants, and this is accompanied by all of these tragic events that happen to her. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens to her because, like I said, I don't like giving away too many details, but just know that she goes through a lot within this book, and this book gives her, it's basically her finding herself, but she needs to go through all of this in order to do that, in order to find who she is and what she wants, and be able to realize that, yes, I have a serious mental disorder and I need to get it in order. Now, within this book, like I said, there are real life issues that are discussed. So, mental disorders, the rape, drug addiction, domestic violence, and the author has captured that in a way that plays on your emotions. And if you're reading this book and you can't relate or even sympathize with Michaela, then I mean, you honestly didn't receive the message that was being given. Because like I said, there's so many issues within this book, and even finding love, finding out who you are, like I said, the drug addiction, the rape, all of that. These are elements and things, and these are things that we go through in life every single day, and we have to learn to deal with these things. We have to learn to get over these things. And I think that Dominique has done a great job of incorporating all of this into her book. And especially for someone who is 19 and, like I said, dealing with major depressive disorder, which it's a hard thing to deal with. So I feel like I don't really have too many negative things to say. Like I said, the only thing was the editing, but this book was truly amazing. I even cried reading this book. There were some points closer to the end where I completely bawled. I felt for Michaela. I felt her pain. I felt the struggle. So I feel like the author did a wonderful, wonderful job of playing on our emotions, getting us to know this character, and just sympathizing with her struggle, and wanting to find out. You honestly wanted to help Michaela. At times you hated her and you said this can't be, but then you realized like she really has something. There's something wrong that she needs to work on, and you really wanted to reach out and help her yourself. So I truly, truly love that about the book. And I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. I'm going to end it, but in relation to the ending, I loved it because, we always want to think of these characters as having these fairy tale endings and falling in love and everything just going back to normal. Now, don't get me wrong, Michaela does have a great ending, because I'm just going to say she does get herself together. She does do that. But at the same time, she also loses something in the process. So her trying to find herself, she also loses something that she's always wanted. So from the beginning, you knew that she wanted this one thing, but during her struggle, during her basically her testimony, she loses the one thing that she did want. And does she regret it? Yes, she does, just like we all would have. But she understands that this was her fault. This is a result of her actions, and she has to learn to live with that. And it just, like I said, the ending was amazing because, like I said, it wasn't the ending that we were all expecting and hoping for, but it was an ending that was realistic, and that's what I love. I love that, you can take all of these things and put it into a book and it actually be realistic, because these things actually do happen within people's lives, and we have to understand that it's not always going to end the way that we want it to, but in the process we find ourselves and we learn how to move forward with that. So Dominique Thomas, I just want to say amazing, amazing job on Pray You Catch Me. If you have not read it, please go and read this book. You will not be disappointed at all. I have, like I said, I cried during the book. I laughed. It was an amazing book overall. So go check it out if you haven't. And like I said, I'll be doing an interview with Dominique coming up this Wednesday. So be sure to check in on that and come join us and join the talk. Also, go ahead and like, share, comment on this video. Follow the Literary O page. I'll be doing more reviews and interviews coming up. And just thank you guys for watching and sticking with me. I appreciate it.